So, one of the things you want to consider as a real estate agent is the fact that things have changed. I remember back in the day when I first got started, and I remember I've been in this game for over 40 years. They used to have these big, thick books. They called them the multiple listing book. And in that book, they had pictures of all these little thumbnails, and it had little pictures and grids, and it told you how many bedrooms and how many bathrooms, and it had all the cool stuff. And you got the book and you looked through it and you found stuff. Maybe you were looking in a certain area. They didn't even have zip codes back then, but you were looking in a certain area, and then you'd find it, and then you go, okay, that's what I like. Let's go look at that house. Well, you'd have to call the other agent. You'd have to set up a showing, the whole 9 yards. They didn't have lock boxes. They didn't have the ease of being able to access a home. The agent would then have to call the owner, work out something where the owner would disappear so that the listing agent could come over there, let the selling agent into the home and show the home, and then lock the whole place up, and the owner would come back. Usually that's how it worked. Well, that has all changed now, right? So imagine a future where an individual says to Alexa, "Hey, Alexa, I want a 3 bedroom, 2 bath house. I want it to have a fenced backyard. I want a basement. I want a 2 car garage. I want it in this school district, and I want it to be under $250,000." And Alexa says, "Okay, I have three right now." And imagine that Alexa even says, "I have one that may be coming on the market very shortly." Well, how does Alexa know that? Because Amazon has already admitted that everything that Alexa hears is stored. They keep all that information. They use all that information. All of those, all of those things that you never read, right? You have to agree before you can go on. So you just agree, and you say you don't even know what you agreed to. Well, what you agreed to was to allow them to collect information about you, and then use that information in whatever way they want to, which is to monetize it. They want to sell it to somebody else. And those somebody else's then use that information to sell their services. So imagine that you get completely cut out of the game because an individual does that. They do it through Amazon. Amazon maybe is connected to Zillow, Open Door. Maybe Amazon's doing it. Who knows? Probably yes, it's going to be them. And so what happens is they take this power of megadata, is what it's called. They take this megadata, they sift and sort and match, and then they're able to actually also find the funding for the client. So not only do they have the forms, not only do they have the process, Alexa can probably unlock the door for all that matters. And then they could show it, and then while they're in the home, somebody's talking to them as they're walking through the house. How do you like the house? We know you like the house because you search on certain things, and we know that it's got that kind of kitchen that you like, and it's got those kind of appliances that you like, and it's got the kind of backyard that you like because you've liked certain pictures, and it's got the kind of apples that you like, and so on. And so all of a sudden, boom, the perfect house for the individual pops up. Now, real estate agents know that human beings, are very flexible. And so we see something that kind of sort of is okay, then we're done. We're ready to go with that. And so the age old way of doing things was you showed them three properties and you expected them to choose one of those properties. And you usually held the one that was more expensive than they could actually afford till the last, but it was the one that really, that's the last thing they saw. It's the best thing they saw. They conflate the other properties into this property, and now they just want that property, and they're going to do whatever they have to do to increase their income or get a gift from parents, etc., to be able to afford that home. Well, those days are over, and I just want you to be aware that yes, it's not going to be like a zoom one day, zoom, there's no telephone calls. It's going to be a steady decline. And we saw this with the 2008 crash. We saw that real estate agents didn't go out of business right away. They went out of business over time. I remember that I had 10 houses that we had bought right. We had bought them cheap. We fixed them up right. We had them on the market. We were flipping those properties. We bought them in auctions, actually. And we had done everything right. People were raising their hand. They wanted the home. They loved it. And sure enough, boom, 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 the contracts didn't go through. Those contracts failed. And we weren't able to get financing for those folks. Why? Because the money supply dried up and there was just no money. It didn't matter what their score was, etc. So it really made it difficult to be able to sell those homes. And that's when I made a switch in my business and I realized, hey, I've never had a problem buying properties, but all of my problems in the industry over all of those decades related to selling the properties, the process of selling, the length of time of selling, the cost of selling. It woke me up and I shifted and changed my business model at that time. And it's been a profound shift for us as real estate investors. I'm going to share that with you during this series.